Good morning, everyone. Today we will talk about the basic periodontal instruments. We will talk about scalers and curettes. But before that, we will start with the basic periodontal examination tools, with the explorer, with the different type of probes, and with another type of probe, which is a special type of probe. We call it neighbor's probe. So this is the explorer. It has a circular cross section, as we see, and it has a pointed tip, and it used mainly for detection. These are different types of periodontal probes. We discussed them earlier. And this is a special type of a probe. We call it neighbor's probe, and we use it for forcation. So let's start with scalers. We have anterior scaler and posterior scaler. This is the anterior one. The general design features for the scaler is it has a triangular cross section and a pointed tip, and we have two cutting edges, and we used it mainly supragingivally. So this is the anterior one, and this is the posterior one. How to differentiate between them? We can notice that the posterior one has an angle. We call it contra angle. So this is the posterior scaler. Now let's compare the scaler with the curette. The scaler, as we said, has a pointed tip, whereas the curette has a rounded toe. And the cross section of the scaler, as we said, it's a triangular cross section, whereas the curette has a semicircular cross section. We use the scaler, as we said, supragingivally, whereas curette can be used subgingivally. And about the cutting edges, we say that the scaler has a two cutting edge, whereas the curette, if it's a universal curette, it will have also two cutting edges. Whereas if it's an area specific curette, it will have only one cutting edge. So we can notice the difference between scaler and curette. We have triangular cross section and a pointed tip. Here we have a rounded tip, we call it toe, and a semicircular cross section. These are area specific curettes. So it's area specific, so each one has a specific site that we will be working on it. And as we can see, each one has a specific design according to the area that it will be used in. So this is the 1-2 Gracie curette. We used it mainly in the interior area for the anterior teeth. And this is the 9-10 Gracie curette. We use it for the facial and lingual surfaces of the posterior teeth. Notice the difference between the 1-2 and the 9-10. And this is Gracie curette number 11-12. We used it mainly in the mesial surfaces of the posterior teeth. And the other one is the 13-14 Gracie curette. We used it for the distal surfaces of the posterior teeth. Notice the difference in the angulation between each of the instruments. For better adaptation in the designated area for each instrument. Area specific curettes has only a one cutting edge. We can see the difference in the angulation between each of the instruments. So each one of these instruments is designated to be used in only one specific area. So we call it area specific curettes. So these are the scalars, anterior and posterior, and these are the curettes as we said.